Storygram Network.
Hello, we are the Sonoma Community Center podcast, a place of creativity, connection, and community. We highlight the artists, teachers, and the community that come through the doors of our historic brick building, often called the heart of Sonoma. We share local tips and shout outs to our home, Sonoma Valley. And we are your hosts, Molly Spencer,
Gerardo Diaz.
We are the engagement team of the Sonoma Community Center. Whoop, whoop. Hey, this is Molly Spencer. This doesn't feel natural. It's the second take, but here we are at the podcast, recording in the music room at the community center. And this time around, I got a lovely co-host sitting across from me, Meg Billingham, Director of Ceramics. You might know her from one of our best podcasts, I think, School of Clay, when she gave us all lessons on beginning clay. I found it fascinating. So anyway, we have a guest here. Gerardo will be back co-hosting with us next time. He is cooking in the kitchen a spectacular meal for Mike Acker, our colleague, birthday meal. So we always have a ceramics artist in residence. And this time around, we're doing it a little differently. And Meg, maybe you can explain that, what we're doing for the fall, winter kind of ceramics artist in residence.
Yeah, so
a little bit about AIR if people are just tuning in for the first time.
Our residency was started in 2008 by Forrest Leach Middleton when he was the director here of the department. And since then, it's existed as a 6-month-long solo residency. So we only have one resident at a time. They work for 6 months and live on site and create a body of work that they display at a solo exhibition at the end of their time. And this year, well, it was engendered last year. We watched a lot of our community in craft and in clay and other mediums get deeply affected and immediately impacted by Hurricane Helene. And we knew that folks needed immediate support, but also long-term support. Like a lot of our community was going to be without studios, without housing, etc. for quite a long time. And so it was a very easy choice for us to say, look at the resources that we have to be able to utilize for other folks here. And we already have a built-in residency program. And so why don't we just switch that around a little bit so we can support some artists that are seeking income generation in different ways because there's tourism was down or they lost their studio, et cetera, post Hurricane Helene. And then it was and then the LA fires happened. And then it's pick your poison now. And
right.
We've had people reaching out to us that lost NEA grants and we're just losing funding federally. There's so much happening in the world, both, I was going to say natural disasters and then human created natural disasters. But so many of our natural disasters are human created now anyway. For us, it was the relief. That's what created the relief residency idea. And so they're shorter format, 6-week residencies.
Typically the ceramics artist in residence. Look at me butcher that word. Is that on the list? We'll get to the list in a minute, folks.
Oh, God.
So anyway, usually it's 6 months and it accumulates in a show. So we are doing it a little differently this time. It's about 3.
There's 3 artists, and in lieu of a solo exhibition towards the end of their work or the end of their time, because they're here for a shorter period of time, we're looking at doing pop-up sales and workshops and really just being able to provide a space for artists to make work and have some income generation for them.
I love it. I'm gonna go in and introduce our first ceramics artist in residence, and I have to give a huge shout out. This is Melissa Weiss. Welcome, Melissa.
Hi, thank you.
I'm gonna just give the short of it. During 2020, we turned on a dime right here at the community center, and we started filming all our classes. So what that meant, and at the time, Kayla Stein was the ceramics director. She did a lot of classes, and a lot of her teachers and contacts in the clay world, I'll let you guys build upon that, came online in support and taught classes from afar, which was an amazing, if you couldn't afford to go across the country, you could take this class with just these amazing ceramics artists online. I probably should have looked at those videos. I might know a thing or two by now. There was 2 people here that really carried us through. They were so popular. And that was Naomi Clement and Melissa Weiss. I remember looking at registration of hundreds of folks all over the world really coming to your class online. And you really helped carry the community center through. So thank you. I appreciate that right off the bat.
Thank you. It was definitely mutually beneficial.
Yeah. And so when she announced that you were coming out here, I was thrilled. And I think a lot of other people are thrilled that you're here too. You gave a great artist talk the other night, but let's just launch into it. You're here, you're doing it. What's your focus right now? What are you working on?
So I fired the soda kiln with Dan Clausen pretty quickly after I got here, and I'd never fired soda before. And it came out really good. So we immediately scheduled another one. So I'm working towards making enough work to fill the soda kiln one more time.
That's exciting. The soda is like a big experiment. It's fun. Is it scary? I feel like you guys are the great experimenters in ceramics because you don't really know ultimately, right? How it's gonna come out. So there's a lot of trust built in your medium, really.
Yeah, it's also the only way to get anywhere in ceramics is because you can test a little bit, but sometimes you really just have to go for it. And even if it's not what you wanted, you always learn something that will keep bringing you to another.
Yeah. Visually, I'm going to put this right out here. This is audio, but since it's ceramics as well, where can they check out your work? Can they check it out on Instagram? Because I can't explain your work, but it's amazing.
Oh,
I like
thank
it.
you.
It's very, I don't know.
I have a website, melissaweisspottery.com, and my Instagram is Melissa Weiss Pottery.
Yeah. And I found fascinating the other day, too. So you're in North Carolina, Asheville, right? But you've been on the road quite a bit this year, from what I hear.
Yeah, after the flood, I remember a little bit panicking because the ceramics is me and my husband's job. It's our only income. And when we lost our studio, after we realized, our studio, it took a minute, but it dawned on me. I was like, oh, we don't have jobs now. He was put a post on Instagram asking if anybody wants to have you come teach. And I did, and I got a lot of offers, and I said yes to everything, which made it be a really busy year, but really fun. So yeah, I was in the Bascom in January. I went to the coast of Mississippi to Brian Nettles, who today's the 20-year anniversary when he lost everything in the Katrina floods.
Oh, wow.
And he reached out to me. I'd never met him and was like, do you want to come here for a month and make work and fire kilns and teach? And that was such an awesome experience. Him and his wife are amazing. And we took their boat to a barrier island and unearthed a full jug. I think Brian said it was from England from the 1700s.
Oh, crazy.
It was amazing. And then I went to the Wedding Cake House in Providence, and I called that my only residency that wasn't a charity residency because I got it before the flood. And that was a dual residency with a friend that's a printmaker, and that was really fun to not do ceramics for a minute.
Oh, nice.
And then I was in New York City. I've just been going all over. Yeah. And then I was in Denver, or in 4 cities in Colorado for a month teaching in 4 different cities. Wow. And then I came here.
Where to after this?
I'm teaching at Pocosin School of Arts on the coast of North Carolina. And then after that, Aeromont in Tennessee. And then I'm done.
You're done.
I don't know if I'll have a studio yet, but it'll be close.
Okay. Building up to rebuild a studio?
My husband's been at home. I've been running around building our studio, and he's actively building it. I
found fascinating the other day, too. You were talking about you dig your own clay, right? And you're still doing that?
Yeah.
And will you tell me about what you said to everybody the other day, when you bought this farm and how that progressed and all of that stuff?
In 2002, I'd been raking blueberries in Maine and working at the cranberry factory in Massachusetts, the Ocean Spray Cranberry Factory.
No way.
For 3 years in a row doing seasonal work.
Okay.
Just being I don't know what I should do in this world. And some of my friends at the cranberry factory, we had been talking about buying land because we were all just we were kind of transient. New York was still my home base, but I didn't have a spot.
Were you doing ceramics at that time?
No,
when you were
I've never made a thing out of clay in my entire life until I was almost 30.
Wow.
Because I didn't have it in school, and nobody in my family makes anything. We had no handmade objects in our house.
So funny.
I don't even think I ever even understood handmade ceramics.
Right. Where did this come from?
Yeah, which is weird. Spending
store.
half my life in New York City, in Queens, 7 miles from the Met, never knew it existed.
Yes. What were you doing? Should we go back there? Let's go to the farm first, shall we?
Okay, so in Quayherd, Arkansas I had a hat from a thrift store that said Ranger Boats Flippin' Ark. And somebody was like, do you think that's a real place? And we looked it up, and there was, on Craigslist in Arkansas, there was land for sale in Flippin'. And we were like,
living cool. This is like sounding like a Schitt's Creek situation.
Seriously.
Well, there was like the Flippin' Church of God when we got there.
God.
It was very funny. So after we were done working at the cranberry factory, we were all kind of living in our vans, and we drove out there, looked at this land, and it was like really crappy land. It was like the side of a mountain. But then we stayed and kept looking, and my friend Mark, he died last year, but he found this thing in the laundromat that had like a listing for this property, this old homestead. So we went and we looked at it, and weirdly we bought it. It was $600 an acre.
How many acres?
We got 75 acres together. And they went back to Memphis, and I was like, I guess I live in Arkansas now. I'd never been there. And it was...
You're a homesteader?
Well, I couldn't live on the land. It was like the road, you couldn't even drive on it. It was really bad. And it's like an hour and a half from town.
Okay.
Maybe an hour. So I got a job at a drive-through barbecue place in Springdale and lived in a weird trailer off a dirt road. Yeah. And I was like, it was very dark, actually. I had no phone, no TV, no radio. It was a very isolating few months. My dog got hit by a car.
Oh, girl, do we make the right move?
I know. I was like, what have I done? Yeah, and that's how it happened. I lived there. I traveled a bit, came back, had a baby there, then moved to Asheville, started taking ceramics classes, went back to visit, realized the ground was a whole lot of clay. So dug some up, took it back home, started testing it, and made a custom stoneware using that clay. And I've used it ever since.
I love that. It's your own clay, and you're making your own ceramics and selling them. It's like the opposite of how you grew up in New York. It's like going to the root of it all. And do you guys still go out there and dig clay out of your land?
We go once a year.
Okay.
And sometimes people ask me why I do that, because you can just buy clay. And sometimes I like to compare it to the difference. It's probably means a lot more to me than anybody else, but it's kind of like the difference in if you bake bread at home or go to the store and buy it. The store-bought clay, like there's like a life in my clay that exists because it's not totally processed. It's minimally processed, and there's like little iron bits that melt out. Plus, I'm so used to it. It's almost the only clay I've ever used until this year.
Oh,
and
that's a DIY earth experience, full on through and through.
And if I didn't dig the clay, I probably wouldn't have gone back out there very often, and I love it out there, so it makes us go there once a year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Then I saw you when you're doing shows and that kind of stuff. I found the pictures of your booths that you set up fascinating because it was real. It was homey. You're like collecting other stuff that you see, not buying these artificial weird lighting, blah, 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 blah. That's really cool. It's
part of the fun, I think, when you do a show, because it's like we're making pots and then we're either selling them online or selling them like in other places. But when you do a show, it's like you have like your own mini gallery. So it's really fun to make an installation out of it.
Yeah, you put a little bit into it, your own, because people are there to talk to you in person and get a sense of it. I love it. What is that like in the ceramics world, you guys, these days anyway? Because I know like in the jewelry world after COVID, like there's less shows now and a lot more like online gallery stuff. That's still the case outside of NCECA, right?
Sure. And there's a lot of shows that happen in NCECA, but that's even structured differently because it's like a conference and it's different than something like a trade show. COVID changed the way that you sell most of your work.
It changed the way I sell, but I feel like shows still happen.
Totally.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And I do a few a year. Like I stay pretty local now. But I used to travel all over the country and do shows all over the country every year. And then when COVID happened, I started selling online. And so it's like a mix now. I'll do online sales and then I'll do a few, maybe 4 shows a year close to home because it's a lot of work to travel.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So you have a lot of color and the imagery that you use and some of your work. Where are you at now? If someone clearly is listening, I see a lot of references there and it's very colorful and I love the handmade diamonds and stuff that you put up there. And yeah,
I don't know. I guess I still I really like color, and my work used to all be black and white, and then I discovered how to use color in ceramics, and that's been really fun. And I guess what's shifted now is, I think because I've been making clay for so long, the making part became so second nature. It's so nice to be so intimate with a material and know it, that it's like a meditation. You're just making it. And then the decorating part is where I feel like it's harder. I have to like think more and concentrate, and I don't always know what I'm going to do. But it's also my favorite part of the process. I look at a lot of images, a lot of Greek art, Etruscan art, Roman art.
I see that.
Egyptian and medieval. I love medieval imagery so much, especially the animals.
I know. I see some snakes lately and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. And what else? I saw some other things coming out of the kiln. A lot of animals this time around in Sonoma.
I like get stuck on things, or not stuck, but I feel like I just keep drawing them until like I exhaust it. And sometimes some things last way longer than others. And then some things like I'll make new images every batch or every firing. And then some, they'll be like one-offs. I'll be like, don't want to do that again. And then some continue. So I've been drawing a lute player that I saw on the cover of a weird album a long time ago. And the leopard from Tomb of the Leopards, the Etruscan tombs, that's stayed around for a while. And recently it's been a swan. And I just love the shape of it and the simplicity. And I've been drawing that a lot.
And watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon for Palestine.
I know. Let's go into that just a little bit here. Free Palestine, you started a group up a couple years ago, right? Is that still an active group? I didn't get a lot from the artist talk the other night.
It's not really active. It was me and 3 other people. And we just were messaging each other because we were the people that were speaking out on Instagram. And it was just like such a surreal time when this was happening, and it was so terrible, and nobody was talking about it. People were just like, oh, everything's fine. And so I think we gravitated towards each other because we were like, thank you for talking about this, because I feel so crazy. And we were like, maybe we can start a campaign and we can get the ceramics people to all post in solidarity, Potters for Palestine. And it was me and Hakan Lindsay, Julie Moon, and Lena Ismail. And I had made a plate in response, and it was just like a horse rider holding a Palestinian flag. And we used that for the like imagery. Yeah. And we were like, okay, we'll send out an email. We just started collecting emails from people that might post, or like anyone that we could think of. And it was a lot of people posted, but I have to say, like, a lot of the kind of more established potters didn't. And if they did, they immediately took it down because of backlash, which is just even people that have been political about everything else. So that was pretty disheartening. But a lot of the younger potters, yeah,
that carries on. That was fantastic seeing you guys the other night with like Sipa Carr put together the Falafel and Friends and Palestine. It was really beautiful. I love that. And you're Jewish and Palestinian?
I'm not Palestinian.
Oh, okay. I said something the other night. Your heritage.
My dad is Jewish. My mom is Italian Catholic. And I grew up more with my mom's family, so I don't have a huge connection to Judaism. My dad wasn't practicing, but before his dad died, we had celebrated Passover once and Hanukkah once. And I remember it was so fascinating. I was like a little bit scared of it because he was scary. But there was also like a really magical, like mystical, fun thing that reminded me of my great aunts that sat in front of like weird, like Catholic stuff and said the rosary, and they sounded like they were chanting. Oh yeah, like that kind of stuff in religion is really interesting to me.
I thought they were giving away mints, not wafers, because clearly my parents were hippies, right? So there was none of that. So my Irish grandmother would take me to church, and they're like, why do you go to church? And I'm like, I like to be bored, but I really like the singers, and I really wanted to have, I guess they were doing wafers at the time, just the rituals, but I thought they were mints up until I was like 9 or 10. I never got one because I wasn't baptized officially or whatever, but I find the rituals and the songs and that kind of stuff almost all religions fascinating.
I think so too. And I used to have to go to mass with my cousins, and they were all baptized because my mom's family.
Storygram Network.
I was getting up to get in line, and they were like, "You can't do that. You're Jewish." And
They
I was
did
like,
that to me too.
Oh, yeah.
"I'm also Catholic," and
Right.
I like couldn't understand, and I really wanted it too.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
remember going back to, I was raised Catholic. I do remember going back to church as an adult and being like, oh, no wonder I'm like so obsessed with ritual and adornment. And
I can see that. Here's the funny thing is my dad became a Orthodox preacher, Eastern Orthodox.
Really?
Yeah. So from hippie to New Age to Orthodox.
Wow.
So that's even
the path
more so
is-
structured. That's like, the Russian and Eritrean and
Is he
Eastern.
in-
So there's many churches up in Santa Rosa.
I was going to say, is he
and-
in the Sonoma County still?
Yes, yeah. He's not
Yeah.
practicing because he's older now and he's mostly at home, but he still attends the church. And he has all these robes that my mom had made him. Like we both, when we got married, we're walking down in our robes. What would you say? And
Yeah.
So but he can't marry us because I'm not Orthodox. And the big cross and the hat and everything. It's fascinating. But for what it's worth, it's one of those people, I would imagine anybody that's leading some sort of religion is a good listener and is a person that cares about people deeply. And he was. So, yeah, I don't know. It's all fascinating in whatever it is. Where it gets tricky is when people start judging other people's religion and wars are created and we start getting into this mess.
Or when nation states take over and represent a religion
Yeah.
and start blaming
Yeah.
things on a religion that are really meant to be blamed on a nation state.
Exactly. And what's interesting, we're all sitting here and the local Sun put out this article, David Pulling, with these words that are basically they're trying to ban from the government websites. And folks, we probably used them all in the past. Like
we have some more we can
what are
do.
some great ones?
But I'd
over
like
there?
to. Yeah, this is according to PEN America. The following words and phrases have been banned for use by the federal government on its websites and public communications. And there are some on here like men and also women and also
Green.
green. And
How about
also
that?
phrases like you can't say the phrase, quote, topics of federal investigations or topics that have received recent attention from Congress is on here.
I can't believe artist isn't on there.
I know. I'm surprised that isn't on there.
It is. It's
Peanut allergy is, right?
Peanut allergy is on here. And so is wind power and the word belong. Strike it from your vocab, folks.
Strike it from your
You're not allowed to
vocab.
say it anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
You're only not allowed to say it if you work for the federal government, though.
Right. That's a good thing. Maybe you won't be speaking so much on that side. I mean, it's scary times. And I think in a way we're lucky here that we can cradle artists to come through here and express themselves, make a living. And isn't that the amazing part of it? Right? And being able to work in the ceramics mud. I admire ceramics because I can only make a coil or a worm. So I
We
find
got to
that
get
really
you
cool.
back in the studio, Molly.
But the mud part, because I'm a total tourist, appeals to me, like digging your own clay and that whole process. Is there anything in Sonoma County? Have you guys gone
There's
out
clay in
digging?
Sonoma County for sure because Sonoma County is and I know Sonoma Valley more because of the way that Sonoma Valley is like a big old alluvial fan deposit. A lot of clay.
Say it again?
So when the valley floods and brings water to it, it brings along with it like alluvium and these silt deposits that also carry clay and they settle. So when it's in a fan deposit, it's just spread across. So a lot of times people will follow water to get to clay, but especially in some place like a valley where it's like flooded and then not flooded, there's deposits. So like
in Shellville, perhaps?
I don't know very.
Hmm.
I'm sure that there's clay in Shellville.
Mhm.
If you want to find clay, get to know a well digger like that, especially in a place like Sonoma, because sometimes it's deep. But a lot of properties in Sonoma are on clay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's clay at the reservoir.
What about like out in North Carolina? What's that climate like?
Oh, there's so much clay. It's why it has such a rich history of ceramics because of not only the clay, but all the feldspars
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much clay. It's everywhere. My husband was digging some right out the door of our studio. He was making pots because he was trying to make this drain, but it's everywhere. Yeah.
What I remember, I grew up in South Carolina, so we would go to North Carolina for the incredible rock slides. Never made it to Asheville.
What do you mean incredible
rock slides? Like built-in rock slides. You would go basically out, and they had creeks and little waterfalls that came down these rock slides.
They're basically natural water slides.
Yeah, they're natural water slides that are rocks. And that's all I remember from my youth. I don't know where it is.
There's a really famous one called Sliding Rock.
Okay.
In the Pisgah National Forest.
Is that a little bit more southern?
It's like
North
outside
Carolina?
of Brevard.
Okay.
So southern, not really south from Asheville anyway. I think it's more east. But it's only like an hour from Asheville. But they started charging.
No,
it was just like
it's
just in the forest, and it got so touristy that they started charging.
Of course they did.
And it's so busy, but there's other things that we won't tell anybody about unless we meet them in person and they're cool.
Okay. I'm in. That's it. I love a good rock slide. That's one of my favorite things. This is awesome. A few other things I wanted to go back because you and I connected a little bit about our youth and some similar, we're around the same age, Gen X kind of age. You had a little punk rock background.
Yeah, and punk rock basically might sound dramatic, but definitely saved my life. I was really searching for meaning and found it in punk rock. And it also
is a teenager?
Like, yeah, I was like 14. And I remember in junior high, like trying so hard to fit in and be cool and do the right things. And I just couldn't figure it out. And then in high school, after the first week, I was like, I can't figure this out. I don't understand what these people want.
Where were you living at the time?
In California, in San Jose.
In San Jose, okay.
Yeah. And I remember listening to Minor Threat and Dead Kennedys. Yeah. And then just like that wormhole of what you had to do back then because you didn't have phones, like going to the record store and like finding other musicians from like labels. And then when you would meet other punks, there was so few of us that like you were just immediately like talking about music and friends.
Yeah.
And so I found this whole world and it was so liberating because I was like, oh, I don't want to fit in with these people. I don't want to do this. I don't want to dress like this. I don't want to act like this. And it was just amazing.
You said you were out in San Jose, so I don't know when that was, but did you ever go to the farm in San Francisco, the big barn that had, I was right on that edge too of the later versions of DI and TSOL and those bands as well. And Minor Threat was coming up, but it was an insane barn in San Francisco, and all I have is my memories. It was a barn. It was a big old barn, and I don't even remember how to get there because I was the same thing, like hitchhiking there at 14 and 15. But it was amazing. And then there was some great places
before
around
my
here.
time. A little bit. Yeah.
And around here we had the River Theater up in Guerneville. And
you went
Phoenix
to some
Theater.
Punk shows here.
A lot. Yeah. Towards the end of it when it got like poppy punk, Green Day.
That's
clearly
true.
Played
it was
here.
It was a poppier punk crowd.
Yeah. I was just talking about that yesterday.
Really
it was like no, it was cool. It all kind of meshed. Sure. They were welcome here. I was saying when they did play here, they ended up coming to our house because at that time it was right before they blew up. And Trey had the matching, they wear girls' clothing a little bit. So I had the matching bottoms. He had the matching top. So they came to our house and there's some dating that happened. Not with me, but with some other friends and that kind of stuff. And Primus played here a lot too. I liked them, but I also was like, but I really like Bad Religion and Fugazi. So it's all over the place. Now it's just all lumped in. And I like that there's still young punks going on. There's still music that comes out.
Yeah. I was introduced to politics through punk. I have an apolitical family. Nobody ever talked about anything in the world. I knew nothing until I started being like, wait, what are they talking about? And then learning. I like became a vegan because I learned about animal rights and
yeah. Are you still a vegan?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the beginning of my political education.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. What do you like listening to these days? Music is so powerful. I feel like it's really can be grounding and dreamy and just take you into a different place.
I listen to all genres of music. There's not like a genre of music I don't like. I still listen to punk. I like a lot of metal. I like doom metal. I like country. Those are probably the main things I listen to.
Nice. I love it.
I love the band Earth a lot. I saw them last year. They're really good live. And there's a punk band out of Kansas City called Nature Boys. You would like them. You should listen. They're really good. But yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I was just talking yesterday about there's a found him. This is my favorite kind of marketing ever. So I was going to the river and my door wasn't shut. So I was taking the girls to the river. We get out there, pull over like some PG&E, whatever monstrosity, right? There's the Velvet Bandit. It's got some graffiti over there. And then there's this cardboard box and it's all The Happies on Spotify. And that's my type of band to look up. I don't mean they're poppy punk. And apparently like this is a big deal now because people are getting mad that they're just like advertising all over the place. Like they've done over. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, this is it. And not too bad either. I love that. That kind of grassroots experience. What else besides ceramics that like fills your heart or you want to explore more?
Honestly, these days I'm spending a lot of time thinking about and doing things, any small thing I can do to ease suffering in Palestine. And I've met amazing, like when I got here, I met Lexi and this crew of people that have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think about most of the time, like from when I wake up until when I go to bed. But art-wise, I started doing some printmaking this year with Tetra Pak. That's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Making art out of trash. And paper mache. That's really fun. And trying to draw a little bit. And I've been recently thinking about trying to because I wanted to start writing, like just cataloging this year of all these different experiences. But I haven't done it, but I think it's good because I think after I'm home and it all settles in, I want to try and do a little more writing. We jump on that Substack bandwagon.
Multimedia.
That is a bandwagon. People are migrating to.
Yeah, I've read some incredible things on Substack.
Yes. I love writing. I grew up writing it as well, but I feel like social media ruined that in 2020.
It's ruined. It's like, it's pluses and minuses.
How can I concise this stuff? And now I'm like, I get stuck. But it was more creative writing. And like Dan Clausen, that used a lot of writing in with their work. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, more writing, more expression.
And reading. I read a lot, but I listen to books a lot because I can listen to books when I'm in the studio. And yeah, I've listened to 2 books since I've been here, 2 incredible books.
What are they?
I just finished Jesmyn Ward. Oh gosh, now I'm on the spot and I'm just blanking. I just finished today. It's so good. And Ocean Vuong, his new book. Both those books were so good.
All right. Fiction?
Fiction.
Okay.
Yes. I think Ocean Vuong, I think both of their books are hers are more magical realism, but I think his are very rooted in personal experience, like a kind of autobiographical, but it's fiction. Mm-hmm. I think it has a lot of truth to them, though.
I love that. Looking for books.
You looking for books?
So I'm going blind, I swear. So I have a Kindle. And of course, I like rock and roll, but I like them all. So I just read Lexicon Devil on Crazy Germs, Darby Crash, and that whole kind of scene. And coinciding with the book that I put down and then I picked back up. Oh God, it was the octopus book with that lived in an aquarium and this lady and him.
Oh yeah, I read that.
Yeah, exactly what it was. And he's a Carmudgeon octopus, and that's the one that really got it through. It took a while for me to get into that because I've stepped away from fiction, so trying to get back into it, I need a really good story, and I love that one. Once it started coming together,
is the Emperor of Gladness, and the Jesmyn Ward book is Let Us Descend. They're both incredible.
Okay. I'll be writing those down after we're done. Melissa, how long are you here for?
3 more weeks till September 20th.
Okay. So, folks, look her up on Instagram. Go to Sonoma Community Center. We're going to have some of your stuff to sell. Am I right?
Yeah, we're finalizing the details right now. Not sure when the podcast will be out, but mark your calendars for September 14th.
Yeah, probably actually right before there.
We're finalizing right now with Dose Bar to have a pop-up sale over at Dose Bar in the afternoon.
Where is Dose Bar?
It's right on Broadway off of the plaza, between the bank and SVMA.
And if you're from out of town, you gotta love that, huh? In between the bank, not as small as Flippin', but a little bit bigger.
So that'll be happening Sunday afternoon. And Melissa's also teaching 2 workshops while she's here.
I heard
coming
one
up.
of them sold out.
One of them sold out. Actually, we might have one spot that just opened up in it. So call if you're interested. September 6th, the Saturday, September 6th, and Saturday,
you missed it.
Saturday, September 13th. There's a couple spots as well. And they're 1-day workshops, 10 to 4. Get a chance to meet Melissa and hear more about her practice.
Yes. Happy to have you. Anything else? Anything else? Last words. If you made it this far, green. Use that word. Stay green, folks.
Stay green.
I'm surprised green is on there. Isn't that the color of money?
You know
right?
What's not on
it's
here?
It's also the color
Palestine.
of Kermit. Oh, say that word.
Is Intifada on there? This is kind of fun, figuring out all the words they forgot.
No.
Interesting.
Anti-racist is on here.
Wow.
Not anti-racist.
Cool. Good to know.
Green. That's because they hate Kermit canceling Sesame Street like that and the Muppets. We know what's up. All right, Melissa. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you. And we'll talk soon. So, folks, listen up. Follow Melissa over at MelissaWeiss.pottery.com. Instagram. She's got a pretty awesome page. And that is Melissa Weiss Pottery as well. WEISS?
Yes.
Yes. Right here. You heard it. All right. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Stay green.